Welcome out, gamers and gamettes, to a very special night here at RGLgg Highlander, where Zag and I will be casting the first ever Koth_Proot match in RGL, something I am extremely excited about. I've been testing this map since the start. I'm all on the bandwagon. I'm very excited to see this as we watch Squirtyay take on Froggieland here in week 4. But as mentioned, I am Alto, joined by Zag to my side, Dolphin behind the camera. As always, Zag, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, and this is a very special night, like you said. First Koth match on cast, the first Koth match for invite teams to go and try their luck on. Additionally, we got two very good teams here tonight, Froggieland and Squirtyay, 3-0 and then 2-1 respectively. These teams both looking good, heading towards that postseason. They both want to lock in a top 4 from them, and this match would be crucial. If Froggieland end up losing this one, all of a sudden we're going to have a very competitive table looking for one of the top 2 seeds.
Yeah, and I think this is going to be interesting to watch as well because Squirtyay as a team is 2-1. Well, actually, Froggieland's a little bit easier to talk about. They are 3-0, but 2 of their wins have come over Guerrilla Warfare and Tunic Vex, teams that we have expected to be in the bottom half of the table, and Froggieland coming back in as the third place seed the third place team from last season. Not that big of a surprise beating them. They took a 4-2 victory over Somebody Help on Asheville. That was the casted match that week. But other than that, that's really only been, their only match against a better team. However, now they come into Squirtyay, who's had a very up and down season, starting off with a very, very shaky look on Upward back in week 1, coming back out to 4-0, I believe it was the Frauds on Asheville, then having another very shaky performance against RR last week on Vigil, winning that 2-1, but the mere fact that they dropped a half when you consider the names on those rosters, I think is a little bit of an upset in and of itself, losing those match points. So Squirtyay now getting probably their best test of the season so far, coming in on a Koth map, which would be their strength, but Proot, which is something where they're not going to have, seasons of experience to fall back on. So very interesting to see who steps up tonight.
Yep, and we're going to go ahead and run down the rosters real quick. On that Squirtyay side is going to be Wish on Scout, Pup on Soldier, Figsy on Pyro, Johnny from Cali back on Demo Man, Nurks on Heavy, Evil on Engineer, DZ Creeper on Medic, Percy on Sniper, and Pajaro on Spy.
And over on the side of Froggieland, it will be Technomo on Scout, Catalyst on Soldier, Pyrus on Pyro, Townsy on Demoman, Moist on Heavy, RGL Overlord Exa on Engineer, Virgil on Medic, the Sar on Sniper, and Construed on Spy.
Yep, and before we go in depth about matchup side to side, we've mentioned both these teams have a lot of very tenured players on their teams. Both of them are high towards the end of invite right now. I want to take a talk about Proot real quick because for a lot of you watching, you will probably be very unfamiliar with this map. This map started getting tested for play in RGL during the offseason. We had a bunch of pugs going on every week for multiple days, testing out Proot, giving feedback to the map maker, deciding what would be the best for it moving forward. And then it got put into the experimental map cup. In that experimental map cup, we had Eruption, Proot, and Ramjam. I feel dirty saying that word, but Proot was by far the most well-received map there. A lot of people ended up liking it. The map maker was very receptive towards changes, and we got a map that we figured would be good for testing in an RGL regular season. The quality is up to par. A lot of people like how it plays, and we're going to be seeing it here tonight for the first time.
Yeah, I think it really should be said that when you consider the timeline for a lot of maps in Highlander, right? I mean, Borneo probably got testing started in, season 10 of UGC and didn't make it into its first, even before that maybe, didn't really become established in UGC until season 16, 17, which is like a 2-year time frame.
15, I'm pretty sure. 15 or 14.
Probably 15.
Yeah,
probably
15.
15. But so still about 2 years or so. Vigil, same thing, tested for quite a long time. Showed up in a UGC season. I don't think it did too well in polls. Took a break for 2 or 3 seasons, came back, did a little bit better, took another break off, so you have that 2-year period again. Proot went from first pug to being in the season with very high scores in the map test polls in about 4 months. So this map went through the hyperbolic time chamber of map development, which is I think a combination of good testing, a lot of testing, and a good layout and a really receptive map maker. And the reason why I personally am such a huge fan of this is it's the first map that really feels like it balances Sniper to the point where on almost every other map, even maps like Vigil, where the map maker's on record saying that he tried as hard as he could to balance Sniper on the map, it still has such a dampening effect on gameplay. But on Brute, Sniper feels to me just like another strong class. It's not to say it's an awful sniper map, you're going to see snipers going negative, but it requires a little bit more thought to play well. There's no kind of god angle on the map, comparable to like fans on Asheville or China on Product, and you really need to be smart with how you're peeking and what kind of sightlines you're holding in order to, best work with your team. And playing against it feels so much better because there's so many more opportunities for action when you're allowed to push while the sniper's up.
Yep, and Dolphin is panning around showing you guys this map. From what you can see, it is a Koth map that is very... It has a lot of buildings. There's a lot of corners, a lot of angles to play on this area. It's choky by comparison to a map like Asheville, but there's still a lot of wide open space on the flanks and behind the house for teams to play around. Additionally, there is something reminiscent of Viaduct Cliff, but not on high ground and very accessible from the point directly. So there's a lot of places to play, but at the same time, a lot of places are accessible at the same time. Pretty much any class can go from one side of the point to the other, left, right, up, and down very quickly. There's a lot of fast rotations and a lot of dynamic play that happens around the center point because of all the cover.
Yeah, and if anything, I'd say in terms of geometry, you may actually compare it more to Lakeside with like the two stairs leading onto point and then that middle kind of flank area that teams like to hold in a lot. And another thing really interesting about Prute 2 is how easy it is to set up a forward hold, where the amount of cover on point compared with the relatively slim sightlines means that very often you'll see teams holding on point to start with or holding their combo on flank, and more aggressive on flank rather than passive, right? Like they're playing on the other team's side of the map, and I think not only is that something that you'll see teams do, it's something you have to do because it's so easy to access point that if you play behind it, you're giving up so much pressure, and instead the defense is encouraged to be aggressive, encouraged to take those aggressive angles. Not like sometimes you'll see teams hard forward hold on Product Cliff. Not something quite like that, but very often you'll see teams go on more of an expedition forward on the enemy team's flank. Push up into that kind of area on the top of stairs near bats, get a couple kills just to stall their timers, then back up, rotate back, start playing on point. Maybe they get a little bit aggressive on point, and you kind of need to juggle that because it is very easy to bomb over point. The map's an incredible soldier map. Tons of mobility. As Zag said, every class can go anywhere, so you need to constantly be moving, constantly be rotating, always be on your toes.
Yep, and for a bit of meta talk, the way the map, the things that you guys should be looking for tonight, and the way the meta kind of developed over those few months of testing, is teams will roll out. Some people will try to fight the point. Some people will go heavy on the flank. It's variable who actually goes where. We've seen combos start out on the flank side. We've seen full point rollouts where they split both sides of the point. We've seen flank fights exclusively. We've seen heavy solo over there. There's a ton of things that people can do to actually get their players forward, but both fights are very important on Prute because if you give up flank for free, all of a sudden your combo's under fire from that flank area once they get pushed forward on. Again, because that middle area is so condensed yet open, there's a lot of areas where you can get pressured very quickly if you don't cover your bases quickly. So a lot of teams will be trying to split pressure moving forward, and like Aldo was mentioning, on defense you want to get forward and prevent that from happening to you.
Yeah, and something else I do want to point out is that while we did say, there's no god spots, there's two spots you're going to see Sniper playing a lot. That is the kind of the forward position on bats, that roof above main, as that you can very quickly rotate between watching the left side of point entrance and the right side of point. With one of the teams I mentored, we took to calling those two different sides stone and leaf, just to, the material on the ground to kind of differentiate them from each other and have like that objective call out rather than always being relative. But you can only see one, right? Which is the nice thing. Any other map in Highlander, you'd probably be able to see both, but because you can only see one, you always have that option. Or you see Sniper playing on Cliff, which is not as good of a sightline as Viaduct, but it is really powerful as the sightline cuts across the point, which means that if a team plays around their Sniper correctly, both in that Cliff position or on the balcony forward on bats, if a Sniper calls, hey, I'm hard scoping on left side, right? Then they know that anyone that walks in there is going to probably get sniped. They can focus on holding down that right side. And it's a little bit more collaboration. If your sniper's playing on Cliff, he's kind of crossing that point. So if you're playing on Cliff, you can see onto the enemy team's leaf ramp. Then that side's going to be covered, and instead you need to worry about spamming out the stone.
Yep, and then when teams get the point and they're looking to hold forward, Sniper can go any number of places. He can hold in one of the two angles close on the flank. He can also hold on the ramps leading to either side of the point for a bit more forward angles, but again, nothing reaches deep enough that it actually fully oppresses an offense trying to walk up. In the meantime, we have the predictions going on in chat. We're very close overall. We were tied just a second ago, but an extra prediction in for Froggieland has them the edge. Alto, what do you think is going to happen this match tonight? Now that we've kind of set up what to look for on Proot, we have, 17 in the server? We can go ahead and start doing predictions and run down players and matchups.
I'm putting my money where my mouth is. I got 5k points on Squirtyay. Gonna throw that out there. I'm putting a 4-3 for them. I think that as a team, they definitely are shaky. We saw a lot of variance from them on their two payload maps so far. But I think that on a COP map, it's going to play more to their strengths. And even though Proot is a newer map, it really does favor just mechanically solid players that, ability to rotate around. And I think the higher quality of player is probably going to lead them to a slim advantage. And I think the difference maker here is going to be Wish.
Yeah. As for me, I'm kind of leaning towards Squirtyay as well. I do think that the Wish Johnny from Cali combo is going to just do work on this map. I think they're going to be able to get all the spam, all the cleanup that they need. On the other side, I just don't see the same raw DM and positioning and aggression coming out from the combo of Froggieland. That said, I do think they have a lot of good things working for them. Like we mentioned, Soldier's a very strong class on this map. If Catalyst can do a bunch of work on the flank and kind of overwhelm Pup, then we might see Froggieland get a bunch of advantages where, again, they can get behind the combo of Squirtyay and disrupt them. Another thing is, in the Sniper v Sniper matchup, yes, Sniper isn't the strong god class that he is on other maps here on Proot. That said, it's Sniper. You can still pop off on Sniper and win rounds for your team. So far this season, we've seen SAR be very solid overall. Percy is no slouch himself, but I think SAR is going to be a force on the map, especially because of how much he pugged this and practiced this map. Even though his spot is now gone, I feel like he's going to know how to play this one better.
Yeah, definitely good points to keep in mind. And again, I mean, SAR, I do think, too, is going to be a difference maker here, but I think Wish is going to edge him out just a little bit, as it looks like we're re-execing.
Yeah, we got 45 seconds of the game is live.
I think Figsy's having some issues, or no, that is Froggieland saying that Technomo looks like is Technomo is AFK, so they're going to be re-execing shortly, so we got a little bit more. Zach, did I get a score from you?
Yeah, 4-3 Froggy.
Okay.
Not Froggy, Squirtyay. I think they have the advantage overall. I do think this is going to be very close, though.
Yeah, we saw really good, and another thing too is I think we got to think back to how Froggy played on Asheville, right? What really beat somebody help in that was that forward hold we saw Adam. So I think they're going to be very comfortable playing forward, and I'm gonna be looking at Technomo and Townsy, right, as you kind of talked about their counterparts. If Froggieland wants to take this, I think they're going to need to step up and at least contain Wish and Johnny to allow the rest of the team maybe to kind of flex their advantages elsewhere.
And with Technomo back from his AFK, we are going to be getting going here. Froggieland on red side, Squirtyay on blue for the inaugural Proot match of RGL. We'll see how this one goes. Both demos going for a cliff rollout. Johnny going on high, Townsy going on low, grabbing the pack. And it looks like both demomen want to fight across their cliff side of point. High bomb from Pup over the top, going to get behind nice and early. Counter bomb from Catalyst, though, going forward, fighting the flank. He is going to get taken down. Rather, Townsy and Nurks both getting backstabbed right away. There's a lot of flank pressure coming out from Froggieland here as they move SAR into this choke point. Johnny, spam.
Spyro gets her! Oh, massive flank overload coming from Froggy. They sent 5 there, only had, I think, Pyro Demo Med behind point, and eventually, coming over the top there is Pup. Gonna hit Virgil for about 140. She surfs out.
They're gonna pop this Uber because the Virgil did get taken down. So this is a free Uber right now for Squirtyay walking forward, trying to take back control of the point. They are gonna force all of Froggieland back into their side of the map. SAR now peeking over the battlements. This is a very good sideline. He does hit a body shot onto Johnny, not gonna be that headshot though. And now we're gonna go for mid 2.0.
Yeah, but lots of cap time this time for Froggieland, so it's only gonna take a little bit of presence. And yeah, they're gonna cap it up. There are lots of kills going back, but the number advantage is in favor of Squirtyay right here, and they will have spawn advantage, so it should be a very quick recap for them.
Pajaro misses the backstab on Townsy, and Wish gets baited in and killed as a result. He loses his life as well. So first cap, rather it's not the first cap, but the recap in favor of Squirtyay. They're going to get SAR as well on the counter snipe. So now there's very few players from Froggieland close up. Townsy eats a lot of damage, has to back up X alongside him. And now with Johnny back from the respawn chamber, they're going to go forward. Pup, very good jump up top, forces that Uber early. He will lose his life for it. That's a trade you're willing to take every time. And now Uber going to end a lot favorable. Figsy will go down in the middle of it, but Squirtyay going to walk forward to the end of it. Construed counter espionage by Pajaro, and now flank fight is popping off.
Yeah, Pajaro definitely did get the MVP of that mid-fight, stabbing Townsy and then finishing off the kill onto Virgil, continuing to find frags and presence as well. Froggieland looking to set a lot of people flying, SAR included, scoping in on that. No medic, though, as Virgil playing behind point. And there is Paharo finding Townsy again. Technomo gets taken out, so even though they find Johnny, not going to be enough as, 2 is greater than 1. But they have a lot of cap time here. Presence not being shown. Making a lot of space,
but he gets taken down, chased down by Wish. That's a great kill to find, opening up the flank for his team. And now Wish holds sole control of this area for himself. That said, Technomo gonna get a kill. Is that a spawn camp? No, Paharo got killed on his decloak, so not able to find anything. And now we're gonna see walking across the point. Technomo eats a headshot right away. Percy gonna get that one for his team. They do get the recapture on for the side of Froggieland, but with spawns extended, we're gonna see Squirtyay look to repush this right now with Uber.
Yeah, and Virgil coming up on Uber as well, so this will be an exchange. Lots of presence, gonna use... Popped up is DZ, and Johnny gonna get dropped off of the... Just a trampoline going on under DZ Creeper right there. He's gonna get launched around a bit more, and that pop-up there is probably gonna win them that Uber fight, although lots of pressure coming into the post-fight from Pup and Wish, taking a lot of zone control, but Pup will go down. No one else to play behind him. They're going to re-aggro this point, almost capped.
Good air blast from Fizzy, denies the spam, and now Johnny's back on point contesting. He's going to get an arrow from his medic, and they're looking to walk back forward. They do get that recapture for the side of Squirtyay, but they've lost 2 players in the meantime with Wish and Evil going down. They're very low. DZ trying to back out, narrowly makes out with his life. Johnny not going to be so lucky. Townsy trades his life for it, though, and there's a 20-second spawn timer as a result. Recap in for Froggieland, they're a minute down. Oh, and a big kill by Percy there on Star. Yep. That's 2 massive classes, 10-second spawns.
SAR is still sitting at 0 points this far into the match, and with those long spawns, we're going to see Percy getting an aggressive angle there. Takes out the mini, going to open up the point. Wish super aggressive. Pup again, playing on the enemy team's HUD. It's such a powerful position.
Construed,
it's going to be so hard to dislot.
He can't get the backstab, and the Uber gets popped out just in time from DZ Creeper there. They're going to hold it with Johnny and Wish. There's a heavy on the flank. Moist, he's seen this before. Wish going to clean him up in short order. Townsy as well getting Revolver down in the middle of that by Paharo. Means the combo is completely dead from Froggieland. Their split pressure plays are not working out. They don't have the right people in the right locations.
Yeah, saving grace is that Virgil did live, and she continued to build there, so they will likely have one more Uber left in this round. SAR also finally got on the board with a kill onto Johnny there. But time running out for them right now is Virgil actually building way faster than DZ here. Turned about a 5% ad into almost a 20% ad here.
Big entry there.
And Concert, yep, good kill onto Percy. No sniper means that this point is completely open to cap here. Big bomb coming out of top onto Virgil on the whiff.
Yeah, can't hit the rockets. Pup gonna get taken down. Pyrus is killed though in the side. It's a 2-man ad for Froggieland. They're gonna lose Moist to another pipe from Johnny, but damage coming in. They're going forward. Catalyst tries to get the chase down, but shredded by Nerds, and now they bled too many players. Uber now held by Virgil, but they're gonna lose Catalyst at the very end, as well as Townsy with no demo man. This is gonna have to be a solo onto Technomo with the spawn ad and full Uber. Now Squirtyay looking to walk. They're gonna pop immediately. Technomo gets his solo. What can he find? He needs kills here. He can't get Evil even. He just gets juked. Evil gets the flash at the end. Construed and Exa go down in the backline. That's gonna be Evil walking forward, helping to clean up Pyrus. And now with 5 players on this recap coming in, that's gonna be round 1 in favor of Squirtyay.
And Pup is just only 8 points, but playing Super Mario right now. Just jumping around, landing on everything, and being such a nuisance. Missed those rockets onto Virgil in the second to last fight. But yeah, it's just creating so much pressure that even if, the kills aren't coming, he's in the right position. He's, creating aggro and space for his team, and just, it's such a tilting thing when the enemy soldier gets to get away with that much.
Wish is running double poise. He launched both over the left side, couldn't find it. Technomo immediately 150 body shot down. Evil is the next casualty of the mid. It's going to be an 8v8. Now Demo Man dueling on the point. Townsy down to 1. Sar gets stabbed, and now bomb from Pup. There's tons of damage. Townsy and Virgil are both low HP. Pup going to get the cleanup. Catalyst Pyrus going down. Percy finding X on the cleanup, and all of a sudden, it's only 2 alive. Virgil chased down. Pup, big play that mid to get everything his team needed. It was a complete wipe almost, and that's going to be Squirtyay taking second mid.
I mean, I think we're ignoring that Nerks just pulled out a 3K in about 2.5 seconds there, but no, Pup, I think, went in, got launched out, healed up, went back in again, and continued to roll over Squirtyay again. The kills coming where they need to be, and ooh, good wall shot from Catalyst, going to take out Pup, but frags being traded back and forth. Better classes down on the side of Froggy, but more classes down on the side of Squirtyay, as they're going to be forced back to that more passive flank hold but without, you know, your sniper and scout, I believe, who went down, going to be difficult to push in here, but ooh.
Burns out, yeah. That's
rocket and the flare are going to burn out.
For Squirtyay's scout, and that aggressive Uber, it didn't get exactly what Squirtyay wanted. They did stall for time, but now that they're down their scout, they're going to have to see this point. Pop going over the top, gets onto Catalyst and wins that fight in the backlines. Pajaro not able to cross. I think he got Invisipipe. That might have been unlucky for him. Sar walking up close right side on the point, trying to find an angle, but he gets spammed immediately, and Townsy getting headshot means that now Arts is free to do whatever he wants.
Yep, Concert going down next. No Spy to worry about, so they are free to play up here. No one to force them to look behind. Technomo going to have to run for his life heading out there. As Virgil has Uber, DZ on 95. We'll likely see an exchange soon, as Froggieland surely doesn't want to waste too much time here.
Johnny very close, gets popped up. They have to force to save. I think you could have saved that Uber. Maybe hit an arrow in midair. He was in a straight line. Could have saved that one, but instead force out to save the demo man. That's not optimal for Squirtyay at all. Spidey clicking on point, but Conchu's knife melts. Not able to find the pick. Will get out for now, and now the counter Uber is out for Froggieland. Trying to do some damage. Pyrus hitting the WM1 onto Figsy, and Nurks doing some damage. And now 4 kills in favor of Froggieland. Walking forward to try to clean him up. DZ trying to escape with his life. Wish going to be out to help run his medevac to spawn. So even Ubers, but that's the capture for the side of Froggieland.
I do want to say there that even though that Uber didn't go as they wanted it, Squirtyay, big that Johnny was able to get Technomo out right before the Uber popped. There's no scout, meant that there was no one there to chase DZ. So DZ's able to live and keep a slight advantage. But Pajaro opening up onto Moist, that defensive heavy, such a big pick to get.
Pup is doing so much damage over the top, gets the kill onto Technomo and forces Star back. Finally, Catalyst tries to counterbomb him, but the damage is done, and the combo is out of there. Just an easy, dry recapture for the side of Squirtyay. Sar discovered on Cliff. Pajaro with a revolver makes him go into the pipe from Johnny. That's a double team onto Sar alone on Cliff. And recap again for Squirtyay. They're looking dominant.
I mean, again, Pup still sitting bottom of the scoreboard, but making so much space, getting so much good damage in. You know, we saw on that mid-fight, eventually those kills are going to come. Going in again will die, but a little overactive there. But the Uber's going to get popped out, actually, from Squirtyay. Not sure what entirely forced that, but Townsy jumping forward with an Uber of his own. Nurk's going to get taken out on that back out, but Townsy hit up low as the Uber fades. Good arrow from Virgil, but Virgil walks into the pipe.
Can he hit the shot into DZ? Technomo's trying to get the med pick. He does get the cleanup. Big play by Technomo. In the backline, though, Virgil did go down to a Johnny pipe. So Uber Decide even out for both sides. Longer spawns for Squirtyay, though, mean that they're going to have to give up this point. Going to be the recapture for Froggieland here. 2 minutes left on their clock. Only 30 seconds for Squirtyay.
Yeah, they will have a slight Uber out here. DZ just spawning right as Virgil's hitting about 20 or so. So nothing to worry about in terms of the Uber for now. Concert trying to get him behind on Cliff. Gonna go for the decloak, gets flared. Gonna get caught out. Yeah, Evil, though, gonna go. That's not Evil the Spy, that's an engineer, so not quite a spy trade. But Townsy, though, the much bigger pick, getting just beaten in the DM fight by Johnny. Pyrus and Moist going down next. Pop claims another. And the defense just collapsing
Sar
for Froggy.
Can't play the game. He's just immediately bombed by the soldier and scout from Squirtyay. He dies all alone in the bottom of Cliff. Exit does get a couple cleanup kills, but it's silver linings as Cap up now back here for the side of Squirtyay. And Pajaro, again, another big pick onto a combo class. This time Townsy going down. It's 90 for Virgil. They'll be able to get this Uber and walk forward, but DZ Creeper's going to have in response. Can Conchu find a game-changing pick? He's in here. He's going to get seen by Evil immediately. He's going to get the pack, but he can't recloak. If he goes down early, they're not going to have a spy at all. And now Uber's popped up on flank.
Yeah, they know that they just need to block points, so if they go in early here, 5 seconds left. Oh, good rotation over through the bats area. Can anyone get on point? They can from that stone side. And Construct finds DZ. The wipe is coming through. Figsy gonna live for a little bit longer, but I can't imagine she's gonna win this almost.
No,
almost
that's the greaser burn. That's the greaser burn.
Yeah, a bit of a took a little longer from Technomo than expected, but I mean, good push coming back from them. I think Squirtyay's aggressive Ubers have definitely been a little optimistic, to put it one way. Might have won this round already if they just stayed back and maybe just used on Figsy to just fully zone them off the point.
Does a loop-de-loop. Very low HP. Might get taken out by Pajaro here. Pajaro, yep, gonna get that opening kill again onto Catalyst. Down one player now. Froggieland have to defend this. No Uber quite yet. 75%. If they could get
DZ's dead,
but Townsy's gonna die. Townsy's dead, which means that the DM can go in favor of Squirtyay. It doesn't matter. Virgil gets the Uber if they cap the point. Moist here needs to live, but he's spotted by the Pyro. Moist, 1 HP, burns out. No heavy, no demo. Who can you Uber? It's a Pyro Scout duo Uber. They're getting some kills, though. X are gonna go down. Nurks in the backline gets flamed down by Pyrus. Any kills that Froggieland can get here would be crucial. Remember, they have to not let this get capped a single time. Pyrus left on 1 HP on the point. Figsy in the backline as Pyro, what can she do? Wish though in with the cleanup, Technomo, Pyro's going down, Wish going ham on the point, just Catalyst here, not able to do anything, and there's the cap, 2-0 in favor of Squirtyay.
Yeah, getting that pick onto DZ was so big there, but the win condition for Froggy was to get DZ and not but not have to use your Uber for that. So that when they do respawn and they go for that late round push, you do have the Uber and you can more comfortably take that fight. But really good aggression, really good DM coming out, and I've been kind of thinking that Wish has been a lot more quiet than I would have expected from him, given how strong of a scout map this map can be. But he definitely turned it on at the end there, knowing that his services were needed.
It's no Asheville, right? This isn't as strong of a scout map where we see Wish drop 50 kills, right? Obviously, there's a lot of choke points in this map. You have to play it a lot more methodically, so there's not that much room. Top frags his team in the end with 460 DPM. Wish had a great half.
Johnny, I guess he wasn't really that quiet now that I think about it.
Yeah, he did a lot. It's just you don't get to constantly do a lot as this map on scout, which is, again, this is why we like this map so much in testing, is because classes are kind of neutralized on this point to be even, where like it feels like any class can make a play that does big work. We saw multiple times Pyro had a massive entry that bought his team space. We saw both Pyros even get like aggressive Ubers, because there's one of the few maps that's small enough, like on the chokes on the backouts, where flames are actually a big threat.
Yeah, no, I know my the main team I've been mentoring has been having their heavy basically run almost full-time flank. And their Pyro is getting 20% Uber, and he's absolutely fragging out. I mean, main, so, take it with a grain of salt, but, like, it is, the theory is there for it, at the very least. And something else I want to point out that I think is pretty neat is that Pyrus, the outlier here, 120 DPM, everyone else over 200, which, doesn't always happen, I don't feel like. I feel like there's more damage here than on average, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, because again, what Prut does is it allows a bunch of classes to actually make plays for themselves. No one is relegated to any role like they are on other Koth maps, where if you're playing engineer, you're kind of just holding bats, you're kind of just putting a mini down, watching for spy. It feels like on Engie you can run flank and do a ton of damage. Evo with 320 DPM on engineer, Exa not far behind at 260, right? They can do a lot of work on this map, and this map just allows for a lot of plays to be made. That said, we are at 2-0 for Squirtyay. The match is going about as we predicted, right? Where DM is making a big difference. We're seeing a ton of work being put down by Wish and Johnny. That said, the scout and demo for the side of Froggieland aren't actually far behind. Townsy actually top damage that entire half. Technomo had decent enough kills on his own. It's just, when it comes to playing the map properly, we're seeing a lot more sync from the side of Squirtyay, where I feel like a couple things I want to point out. One, we mentioned a bunch during the round, Pup is doing so much work. It feels like every time Squirtyay want to get forward, Pup is in there doing damage. Even if he's not getting kills all the time, he's just being such a big force for his team.
Yeah, and it's a little bit circular too, because one of the main soldier deniers on this map is your sniper, where the sightlines to deny the enemy team aren't very strong, but the skies are so open that almost wherever you are, unless you're, like back on your own flank, you can see the enemy team soldier bombing. And, if you're able to just hit him with like a 90 damage body shot and stall him, it goes so far into not letting him get onto your own HUD, which is what Pup's really done almost every time. Either he catapults himself behind on the the stone side of the point, or he lands on the hut and gets 2 good rockets off and draws all the attention before dying, which is all you really need to do as a soldier. If you can draw all that attention and get 2 rockets off instead of instantly vaporizing like you might on, Asheville, it creates such a big just threat that they have to turn at it. Gives so much cover for everyone else to walk over. So I'm really going to be looking at Moist, Tak, Nomo, and Tsar to kind of get on that denial duty, because this isn't as much of a Pyro map for denial. I mean, Pyrus can be reflecting those rockets, but he can't really stop the soldier from getting onto the hut and causing havoc.
Yeah, at the same time, one thing I want to talk about is how the fights are shaking out on the flank side. We mentioned at the top of the show that flank on Prut is very important. If you hold it, you hold, pseudo high ground, you hold multiple angles onto any team walking up from behind their house. We've seen multiple times. Okay, Froggieland's game plan involves putting some key players there occasionally. Catalyst bombs through there a lot. Moist gets left on that side a lot as heavy. And we see that every time that Froggieland have, 1 or 2 players over there, just holding space, Squirtyay does such a good job rotating exactly who needs to be there to take care of the issue. We've seen Wish go over there with a 185 and just take down Moist all alone, and there's nothing he can do, right? That's one of the things where, you're looking at the players to make the plays. Like, we know that Wish is able to go and win that heavy V scout every time. His movement and aim is solid enough that he almost will never get killed by Moist. So we need to see Froggieland kind of note where players are dying for like no gain and try and neutralize that. Whether it's put more players there to overwhelm the force, or maybe just time better the push forward from Moist and the flankers. There's a lot that can be done.
That, or I mean, I want to take it back to the very first mid because I thought it was very interesting. Where I think Squirtyay sent Nurks, and I want to say Evil to flank alone, and they went off against Construed, Exa, Moist, Pyrus, and Catalyst. So it's a 5v2, right? But as they do that, it means you only have your med demo Pyro behind on mid. Pop went in, got 140 damage off, and then Pahuro just hit the revolver shot, and Virgil goes down. And I think they ended up technically winning that mid. That was the long one, but they capped, and then immediately got capped on right back, and so they got 8 seconds off the clock, and Squirtyay proceeded to get like a minute plus. So flooding flank there is good, but only as much as you can let your combo know how to play weak side and stay alive.
Yeah, I actually like that term you just coined for this map, strong side and weak side, because we mentioned both points of contention on this map, both flank and the point, are very important for actually getting control of the map, where if you have one but not the other, you don't have control. You need to be able to put pressure on both and win both sides to actually have a stable winning contest. If you're going to overload one side, that side becomes your strong side, and they need to do something. If you put 5 people through flank, but they don't get behind, they don't get more than 1 kill, it doesn't matter because your weak side is now getting completely overran if the other team's strong side is doing something better. So you just need to allocate your resources very well on Proof to actually make something out of this.
Right, and not to necessarily say that Froggieland did this, but those weak side players need to know they're weak side players, right? Where you mentioned you have to pressure from both sides, but that's more of like, if you're going to send 5 people flank, the people on weak side, on like, the stone side of point, it's not their job to get a bunch of kills and win the mid. It's their job to stay alive and be in position for when the 5 people you send flank get ground and start, collapsing the space for the enemy team, and then you walk forward and you're alive, and that's enough.
Yeah, because you're not. We saw how close that first mid was. Imagine if their medic lives. All of a sudden, that's one-sided in the favor of Froggieland.
Yeah, because even if you're combo, when you're playing weak side like that, you're not the person who's winning the mid. You're the person who will lose the mid if you go too aggressive or you don't play safe enough. That's not to say you just, cower behind house the entire mid and give it up, but there's a line you can walk where you're doing damage, you're playing some pressure, but you're not putting yourself as much at risk as you might on, like, an Asheville style mid, right? Where both teams come out of Shutter and it's just a big meat grinder.
Yep. That said, we're almost done with the halftime here. Both teams taking a nice long talk. Remember, this match is very important when it comes to postseason standings. Both these teams competing for those playoff seeds. Not getting any points here could eventually have you drop out at 5th. So they definitely want to get as much as they can get here. As the ready-up is through, we're going to be going. It's 2-0 Squirtyay. Can Froggieland make a comeback?
On Asheville, Froggieland was down 0-2 and pulled it back to 4-2. So halftime masters, perhaps, as I actually never really noted to care where the demos were, but it looks like they both roll a cliff, which is
they both roll a
interesting.
cliff. Townsy gets packed, whereas Arts just takes a less damaging jump. Again, we're just seeing Pup going around early, seeing what he can find over. Johnny goes way too aggressive.
Both demos dead to scouts immediately.
Yeah. That's both the elements getting too far. And here's the strong.
Look at the flank overload.
Yeah. This is when you put 5 people on flank and you actually get through. Your medic. Oh, but your medic died. Pup got the medic. So the strong side play, it works out again for Froggieland, but with their medic down, they're going to lose this in the long run. They are going to get mid, though, just because they have more alive at the moment, but they're just bleeding players because of no heals.
That's a BV play. Sack everyone, lose your own med. As they get the point, though.
He gets shot in me by Percy. That's a great denial.
Yeah, needing to take out the enemy sniper there's really big, is now they have more space to recontest, but with the shorter spawns on the side of Squirtyay, they will take that point back, but 15 seconds knocked off of it, better than nothing. Catalyst, though, going down means that no massive pressure to be found. As Pup now coming in onto flank, gotta find Pyrus and Townsy, and Liv, Uber coming out there, Wish trying to chase back to spawn, but Catalyst in that narrow hallway isn't gonna be one to be trafficked, especially with
the 2-2 heavy all alone. In the middle of 8 players, he's going to go down, so bit of a delayed death, but he's heavy, he can't really get out there. So now Virgil going to be granted a 30% Uber advantage off of that use from Squirtyay. If you want to argue whether or not that's worth, it buys them a lot of time, because obviously Froggy have to come out and clear the space again. But with Johnny
Catalyst
at the end there, now they can walk forward with that pyro ad, or the demo ad rather.
And Technomo going to find another 2 on top of that. Pup takes Catalyst out on the flank fight, but Wish then getting more. The kills trading back and forth, but the numbers I think, are actually dead even as spawners coming in for Froggieland, but they have point presence being the more important bit, and now they recap the point.
I think Pajaro accidentally took the big pack from Pup in the backline, so Pup had to sit there and just take the death. Either way, gonna be able to respawn soon. DZ Creeper gonna just wait for the last 20%, but Sar hitting the cross shot. That's what you can do when you get aggressive on this map as Sniper finds the key med pick, and now the free Uber is out here for Froggieland.
Yeah, walking forward, they're gonna find Wish and Johnny. Ooh, that's a Natasha in the kill feed. Coming out from Moist, really not wanting to let Wish continue his reign of terror so far, as, again, really forward flank pressure here. I like this. Sar is starting to walk up, getting really aggro, trying to get a shot almost into main. Townsy playing up to spam onto the stairs as Wish gonna get hit up really low, and Construed in the middle of 8 people finds DZ Creeper. You cannot let that happen.
Yeah, you don't expect the spy all the time to be on you as you're leaving spawn. You expect them to be further out, maybe watching for info, but like you said, that spy checking has to come through. Someone's got to do it. We see Pajaro lined up, gets the pick onto Sar at least, so that's a bit consolation. Virgil gonna have a full Uber ad to work with us, so Froggieland are looking good.
Yeah, good pressure from Johnny coming in, trying to get some damage into flank. Gonna get hit up himself, though. Forced to back off and heal. These minis keep getting exchanged. As the Uber now coming out from Froggy, scattering like... gonna say like frogs, but that's not quite. That's the other team. Is Squirtyay. As DZ will live now, has a 20% ad, trying to pressure back in with Figsy, but Pyrus gonna take out Pup on one of his adventures. That mini from Exa denying the point pretty well right here, as a bit of a slow moment.
Sar's back up, watching from that flank angle as Percy not able to find anything, gets backstabbed by Construed. That's going to be a man ad in favor of Froggieland. They're trying to get some more pressure here, but it looks like Squirtyay, they're responding with combo, walking heals into flank to clear it out. In the meantime, Construed up there gets caught out, and the Uber going to come out from the side of Squirtyay, walking forward, seeing what they could find. A kill on Virgil would be huge. Pyrus going to eat that pipe instead, keep his meds safe. We see Scout right now. Technomo is juking on the point, does get out with his life for now. Pup's bomb not going to be fruitful. Really wants to get that kill onto Virgil because all of a sudden, now full Uber disad once again for Squirtyay.
Yeah, and I mean, halftime heroes, perhaps, is Froggieland, as Johnny going to get forward right as the Uber gets popped out, and he will not see more than a few seconds of those shiny players. As Figsy looking to just deny anything. Technomo extends a little bit too far forward. Wish lands the 2-shot, I believe that was. Takes him out. So, no scout for the defense as Johnny's spawning back up. Gonna have to see if they push off of that. Not too much time left, so I mean, I don't think they have any option.
They're working aggressively here. Sar gonna get backstepped by Pajaro, giving him an opening for the side of Squirtyay to work with. Now they can walk forward on point. Moist doing a lot of work to deny. Gets taken to half HP. Has to go get some heals. Pyrus getting sniped as well means the pick classes have opened things up. Uber now onto the point for the side of Squirtyay. They find Virgil early. That is crucial. Great shots.
Townsy and Moist are behind.
Yeah, if they can get cleaned up here, it'd be big, but they are in.
Moist is shredding them from the back! Moist and Catalyst! Oh, it's a bloodbath as Moist flanks around from stairs.
Construed. That was 3 people killing the entirety of Squirtyay. Spies, heavy, soldier, all coming in behind, just demolishing them. There's nothing that Squirtyay can do because they're not looking, and all of a sudden, that's going to be a round in favor of Froggieland, 2-1.
I think Catalyst downloaded Pup's VOD real quick and started imitating him, at least in how much pressure he's making. Really high up on the scoreboard. Just, didn't have too much impact from him before, it felt like. That, Pup was kind of Goombaing him while he was going behind sometimes and, removing the jump attack. No, that's a sad kill. Ragdoll just gets body shot. And another one onto Townsy, yeah. 2 major classes down for Froggy. You have to imagine that's basically mid.
Evil and Nerks are getting overran on flank. These 2 cannot hold it. Pup over the top, though. Big reverse bomb gets 2 cleanup kills. And now both sides of the fight easily won by the side of Squirtyay. Going to be able to capture this point, keep their men alive.
Yeah, I'm just imagining someone who's not familiar with TF2 hearing the term reverse bomb, thinking it's some really advanced tech. When no, it's just jumping behind you.
On the side, yeah.
Yeah, more kills for Percy. Already up to 4 here. Johnny, though, going to be the big opening pick here. That's no demo, no scout. So the tables have turned. It's now demo scout down on the side of Squirtyay, and there's the point, just like that.
Yeah, Pajaro gonna cross point, see what he can find, but without the Demo and Scout, like you said, they cannot even think about fighting this one. Now we see Moist walking flank with his flank buddies. They're gonna be able to hold this and force some space being taken out of Squirtyay. And now we're gonna see the Uber had from both meds. We'll see who wants to pop forward. It looks like Johnny taking this one up the alleyway. Takes a lot of damage though. They don't want to go quite yet. Their health is terrible.
I think they're going to rotate to take this to flank, which I think is probably for the better. Popped up, though, is Johnny. That's going to stall some seconds off the Uber. Flashes out onto Wish, as this is maintaining no longer a solo, but Wish going to get caught out in that as Technomo gets skyboxed, but going to fall and be fine. Still was buff. Conster decloaking on the medic. Going to find one. Finds two onto Johnny. Huge stabs out from Construd. And things really was the halftime magic for Froggieland.
Yep, and with DZ Creeper as well getting backstabbed there, Virgil going to be up on another big Uber ad. This is going to be 50%. All of a sudden, Froggieland, they have everything they need to go up there to at least tie this match up at 2-2. Bomb over the cliff, big rockets and catalyst there. Finds the engineer and sniper very quickly, and he gets out. Or no, it doesn't get out. Gets chased down by Wish, but you'll take that trade.
Yeah, just killing that sniper means that SAR is... Look how far up SAR is playing. Going for shots onto Cliff from their own flank. He gets... Yeah, I didn't even realize he got DZ there. Yeah. Just gonna... And look, that's what happens when you get that space. It lets your sniper walk up, and the aggression is rewarded for Froggieland yet again. Pop as well. Much better job on the denial. We have not seen him be able to get on his roof yet. Uber's gonna be forced out here. Not sure what forced it. Everyone looks healthy enough, but...
It's for Uber. They just took it forward to save the players.
With DZ having winged out, it'll be about a 10% out on the side of DZ, maybe a bit more if he builds it, but it's relatively for Uber, as you said.
Yeah, and we're seeing this adaptation come out from the side of Froggieland, but they're holding forward and flank with as many people as they can get. It's going to be a
DZ on crits, yeah.
Crit swap from DZ, so they will get notably faster here, but they're losing players. Nurx, Pajaro going down. They're down to 7. They do get the kill into Moist, though. That heavy with the Natasha has been a menace, slowing people down in these chokes, making them vulnerable. So now, with the numbers add, we'll see the side of Squirtyay walk up. 90% crits for DZ. We don't know if this is called out or not to the medic of Froggieland, so we'll see where they position. Looks like they're rotating back around point side, but they're doing damage. Townsy's alone and gets reflect piped. Good play by Figsy there. Nurk's gonna go down. They're gonna be able to
Virgil almost has Uber though. Oh, look where Virgil is. They 100% know this is crits. She is cowering in spawn. Gone. Yeah, that was absolutely called. So good job on Construd, who's the most likely one to have called that. As now it's an Uber versus crit situation. Have to imagine Uber's gonna win this, and it doesn't even matter. DZ dead again. SAR continuing to find this medic over and over again. Percy's gonna be next. And the Uber taken out running forward. This is the freest Uber. All the frags going in favor of Froggieland right here. And the tables really have turned.
If the crits never gets popped, you can't say the crits play failed, you know? Johnny left all on his lonesome, gets met up with his medic team, gonna be able to stay alive for now, but with a minute 56 on the clock and only 26 for Froggieland, Squirtyay are desperate in this round to maintain their lead. Pipe exchange going forward, Johnny takes the bad end of it. Pajaro going for a walk-up, he's not able to find anything as the backup is through here, and Johnny getting stabbed. I feel like he hasn't been able to play this entire round, gonna be going down, and now point capped up, but they don't have much to work with.
Catalyst just barely escaping with his life there from that flank. They are going to find Nurx, so the defensive heavy demo soldier all dead. You gotta walk in on that. If you're not going to walk then, you're never going to walk at all. Point going to go back over, and Froggieland about to put themselves on match point. Yeah, crit scatter gun, nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
Yeah, after DZ drops that, I feel like you gotta come back up.
Yeah, you have to get off it.
I mean, look at this beautiful crit carpet they have. It's like a payload setup time, but guess what? No one was on it. And Construd finding Johnny again. Keeps happening. The spy checking is just not there right now. Construd has been finding picks left and right. Feels like every time he decloaks, he gets something. And we've gone from a 2-0 lead to a 2-2 tie. So, mirroring Froggieland's performance on Asheville. Interesting.
Yeah, that's a great turnaround there from Froggieland. We saw them adapt their game plan. I mentioned it briefly, but in the first half, what they were doing is like they were overloading flank, but then they're rotating the bulk of their players to kind of hold near the point side. Here, in this half, they've adapted. They are pushing as far up into flank as possible. They want to give SAR those aggressive angles, allow him to make his plays, and force the side of Squirtyay to really take a lot of time clearing the space out, force them to actually play well to get all the space back, because if you can't, then you can't ever get on a point.
Oh, look at this combo diff right now. Look at this combo diff coming through. 5-11, 4-12, 0-7. That's what, 23-30 deaths on Squirtyay's combo to 13? On
Do
the
me a
side of
favor, if you
Froggy,
have the advanced logs up, check out how many times Medic died to Sniper and Demo died to Spy. I think it's 3 deaths to SAR.
DZ was sniped 3 times
Yeah,
in
3
2
deaths.
rounds, and Johnny was stabbed 5 times.
Yeah, so the Spy and Sniper are just doing tons of work from the side of Froggieland. Khonshu and SAR pulling out a ton of work. Hold on, so is that right? Does SAR have 6 kills?
Yeah.
He has 6 kills and 3 of them are med picks.
Yep, 3 med, 1 heavy, 1 NG, 1 spy.
I love this map because this is a sniper. Okay, no, here's the thing, right? Sniper players, you cannot complain about this map. SAR has 6 kills. He has 3 of the most impactful kills of the entire round. You can argue, the team was playing better a lot of the time, like overall. That said, SAR basically closed out that round for his team, like that half for his team. There was never a point where DZ Creeper had an Ubercharge to try and flip the script.
Yeah, just... Actually, wait, say that again? Sorry, I just brain farted. I'm just
even
thinking,
even though SAR only has 6 kills, his 3 kills are some of the 3 most important kills of the round. Because he's getting all those picks onto DZ at crucial moments, all of a sudden, Froggieland, they just always have control. Squirtyay can't do anything about it.
Yeah, and this isn't, and that's not a case too of like DZ was forced to run into the sideline if he wanted to play the game. One of those kills is SAR going on an incredibly, aggressive peak, walking up onto the enemy team's like bats almost to peek their own cliff.
Yeah,
and then another one, DZ peeked into him when he really didn't need to when he dropped that crits. Not sure what the move was there, but like SAR was posted on that angle, was probably called. Other people are looking at it, and DZ comes into him, which I mean. Maybe that's a bit of a donation on DZ's part, but it's almost more of like a steel type map. It feels like, right, where it's not about how many picks you get, but when you get them and what picks they are.
Yep. Townsy maintaining his top DPM in the server this time up to 576. Yeah. Catalyst as well top fragging, doing tons of work, 420 DPM.
I mean, how many times did Pajaro get Townsy? Once. So if you remove the spies. The demos are only 1 or 2 deaths apart.
Yeah, and okay, I want to talk about this now because we're tied at 2 apiece. We've seen Froggieland make the adaptation. They're now pressuring flank very far forward. The response from Squirtyay has to be something that allows them to negate that, right? They need to be able to walk up to point consistently and get recaptures. In the first half, it seemed like every fight that was being taken around the point, Squirtyay was winning. So Froggieland, they say, we're not going to take a fair fight, we're going to catch you early on. And it's worked over and over again. So now Squirtyay has to figure out how to not get caught by this, how to play their own version of the map without getting completely disrupted by Froggieland, because if things keep going this way, Froggieland is going to keep disrupting their plans.
Yeah, what I like about a situation like this, right, is that there's no guaranteed answer, because you have the choice of, well, do we just overload flank right back? Or do we want to maybe hard stack combo, and then you do the thing on Lakeside, right, where if a team sends 5 people back, you just 9-man the other side of the point, crossover, roll the combo, and then everyone in Bath who's like, oh, we're holding Bath, well, it becomes their, mausoleum. As they just get flanked from all sides. But, do you try to split the difference, and maybe you throw, like, an extra person onto flank, and you make flank into that weak side, where you say, okay, well, hold this space. We're not going to just abandon it, like you would if you send 9 people onto the stone side. But hold the space, don't let them overrun us, be a little bit more judicious, and then have our, combo still be that strong side, or, there's a tons of different ways you can do it, so it puts a lot into Squirtyay's hands as to how they choose to adapt to this.
Yeah, and I want to bring up the fact that Squirtyay won that second mid in that half, right? They got overloaded on flank, they lost their heavy soldier, their heavy NG, right? They knew they'd get overloaded, so they just took those losses. Again, we saw Virgil go down early, and then on the post fight, because of the strong side winning so hard for Froggieland or for Squirtyay, they made the right play to clean out the flank. We saw the bomb from Pop, the scout running at that within post. So, like, their mid fight looks fine, right? If they're intent on letting Froggieland have flank, playing for the main point, and being able to clean it up later because they're disconnected, I'm fine with that, right? It comes after that where you need to actually maintain your hold. The only reason why they got rolled so hard is because Johnny had back-to-back unforced deaths. So when you have no demo man, that 4 never comes out, you get pushed forward, and all of a sudden you have no answer. So you can keep doing what you're going to do on mid. You just need an answer when flank doesn't go your way. We saw the answer on mid, we never saw it again.
I don't want to discredit your analysis, but I think a major part of them winning that mid is that Percy body shot killed Technomo and
he's done that
Townsy
twice.
within the first 10 seconds.
Okay,
of the
Townsy
mid.
would have died anyway. Townsy had Wish running at him. Townsy was dead anyway.
Fair.
Because they were strong side and Townsy didn't play back. The body shot to Technomo was funny, but he's done it twice already. Like, we know that the sniper's going to post on point, right? The sniper's not posting flank. SAR's posted flank a couple times so far, I'm pretty sure. So if your weak side players, again, like we mentioned, are going to just die, that's the equivalent to the heavy NG just dying on flank for Squirtyay. The difference is more valuable classes died on the side of Froggieland. You lost Demo Scout, you can't play mid.
Oh, DZ drops again. just heard a medic scream somewhere in the crackle. But yeah, it's I'm thinking again, right? How like back on Asheville, the same thing happened, but on that time it felt like there was a very clear solution, at least to me, as to what somebody help needed to do to counter Froggieland's adaptations, right? And that was just group up, send timeless ramp, break the forward hold. It's not so simple this time.
Yeah, map is still very new.
They need to find their winning combination, but we don't know what that is yet. You know, it hasn't been researched yet. It's another reason why I love having new maps in rotation. Yep. You can see, you know, more divergent gameplay.
And we're readied up half 3. We're tied at 2 rounds apiece. This could be the end of it all. We're going to see, again, early bomb from Pup and point overloading from the side of Squirtyay. A bomb from Catalyst actually going on to Johnny. That's a nice switch up, but he's not able to find the rocket, and they lose Catalyst. They lose Technomo. Moist is up here doing a lot of damage, but now that they know these flank picks are dead, Evil is walking at this heavy 150, one pipe going to take him down. They are going to get a counter kill onto Evil and Pup, but it's not enough. Again, mid-fight going in favor of Squirtyay.
Yeah, Catalyst was so close to landing that kill onto Johnny, and maybe things flip there if he does. But, you know, different timeline right there. He's going to go down. Townsy gets the, Johnny, gets the arrow, heals up. Constantly been waiting on Cliff even to get that revolver shot, but DZ gets the heals off fast enough that that's not going to be possible. The mid comes over, but they're losing pressure right away. Really great recontest here as in goes Pup. Looking to get behind, not going to get anything immediately.
By Catalyst. He's buying a lot of time. The Uber's on the front side.
The fight.
Yeah, they traded at the end, though.
He pulls Pyrus back, too. Yeah, so Fixie able to deny that Uber.
Yeah, Fixie's dead, though.
Keeps DZ alive, though, at least, despite them having the worst Uber.
Yeah, that Uber just went in favor of Froggieland on the point. That just had more players and better positioning over time. So now we see the forward hold again coming up from Froggieland. SAR is posted on this flank angle. If they could push through point, Johnny can spam some stickies. It'd be a good look, but Townsy gonna respond. Conchu not able to find anything. Gets taken down early. Okay, this is the response. They're going far side point. I like this because all of a sudden the angle from SAR isn't actually good. Townsy's contesting from this tiny choke. Pajaro in the backline finding a big pick, and now it's just SAR watching the angle. Moist can watch as well, but they're gonna get walked at in just a second.
Froggieland's demo getting stabbed? Say it ain't so. It's been ages, it feels like. Yeah, good, really long-range splash rocket
gonna go
to
back
find.
In. There's a med pick awaiting. He's gonna hit the sniper. No, he actually gets seen out, so now no kill for him. And numbers are in favor of Froggieland, actually. They are gonna clean out Moist with this Uber at the very end. Virgil will use late. It's a much better Uber for the side of Froggieland, ending this with Townsy and Technomo. We'll see what kills they can get.
Oh, arrow onto Johnny, missed. Oh, no, he's waiting on Villager for one, and he doesn't get one. DZ, I think, backed out. But Percy has a bit of an aggro angle here. Gonna find Townsy.
Oh, no. Yeah, Townsy getting sniped, going down. Conchu as well. Bomb from Pup forward onto Pyrus, gonna take him down. Direct onto SAR, kills him as well. And with Figsy cleaning up Technomo, that's a late win for the side of Squirtyay. And they keep the Met alive as well, whereas Virgil went down. So now time ad and Uber ad.
They extended Pup. How cruel.
That's fine. Soldier.
Here's the aggression we're talking about.
Too heavy.
Moist dancing for his life, not going to make it. Exa, Technomo, all followed in short order. Catalyst likely to go down as well. No, jumps out, just barely gets the pack. Evil not able to finish him off, but good shot out of the SAR. Good adaptation. When they play forward on your flank side, you send your sniper out Cliff, take those long angles. You can kind of dance between them, get some good shots in, and SAR does exactly that.
Yep, and now with Wish down, they're going to walk forward. No pick found from Conchu. They're bleeding out early. Catalyst has gotten his respawn, so it's an 8v8 Townsy sniped down by Percy on that left point angle. That's a great rotate. SAR contesting from Bats. Can he find anything? Nerfs peaks just too far.
Look at how forward they are. They're going to Uber in from Bats.
They haven't used quite yet. They want to find Virgil with this if they can. Sar goes down in the backline, so don't have to worry about a sniper sniping their med on the back out. Catalyst goes up and he comes down, not able to find anything.
They don't even have to Uber. It's just a bit of
they just rock it out.
Bit of an exploration from DZ Creeper.
Yeah, but now holding close on point. This is something that got experimented with in the Pugs. If you hold close on point, you get a really aggressive Uber. They are going to use it immediately, so they need to find Virgil, but they didn't actually wait until Virgil was close, so now there's almost no response. They're going to rotate onto flank side for free with this Uber.
Yeah, and they're going to lose Wish and Figsy, too. They're popped and then kind of dilly-dallied for a bit there. Good bomb out of Townsy. Goes down, but that is the kill you take 10 out of 10 times. As the Frag's kind of coming back in. Moist able to... Or Moist goes down, I mean, Nerf's able to pick up
you
one.
Die on the point. You just walk forward, you try to get med, you get as much time in this as you can. Because your med's dead, you have nothing to really gain here, just stall as long as you can. They're actually
Paro coming in! Found by Virgil.
Johnny lands the stickies onto Virgil, and Paro revolvers down Pyrus with now Evil walking up with the help of the reinforcements from Figsy and Johnny. They're getting all the kills. Pop another rocket kill onto Catalyst. Townsy's here though. Can he save this one? It's just him. Not able to find anything. Gets uber sawed of all things, and that's going to be the cap up in the round in favor of Squirtyay, firing back 3-2.
Such a, Pahuro was kind of standing on that point all alone, blocking it with the revolver. Cloakson goes for the stab onto Virgil.
No, that's the Virgil was turning the spy.
Yeah, Virgil turns for the spy, and Johnny just carpets her, and and there you go. So the adaptations come through, yeah. And I liked how much more flank pressure we saw from Squirtyay there, and it was really working for them. Pup in deep already. Technoma waiting. Gonna continue to chase, but Pup is faster. Nurks and Johnny, they're gonna go down right away. That is a dead blue combo.
They gotta get out because they give up flank for that as well, so that they have no ground here. Catalyst and Khonshu are in the back line here. Percy gets one kill onto Sar, but it's not gonna be enough. Khonshu coming out the back. Evil sees him just in time, gonna save his medic. Catalyst is still here though. Catalyst now going for the bomb. One rocket reflected, taken down. Technomo's taking his chance, but DZ is out of there.
Yeah, bit of a more dangerous escape than it should have been for DZ, I think, but he will escape there as 30% ad over Virgil, too.
Yeah, just taking more damage, healing some more crit heals over the side, and we're going to see Pup going for it on this roof. I like this a lot. He's going to spam the mini out for his team to kind of get forward here. Fist heavy on the corner of the cap to help the team walking up. 95 for Virgil, 100 for DZ. We'll see if they want to go in right when the cap goes over in favor of Squirtyay. Uber aggressively from Squirtyay. Johnny going to try to find it. They do get Moist, not able to get the flash in time. Slightly longer Uber for Townsy here, but it's just him on the flank. Wish is going to zone them off on top of this box. Johnny takes a lot of damage and will go down, so numbers add in favor of Froggieland here on the walk-up.
Wish is on Virgil, though. Gonna get backed up, takes out Townsy instead. Virgil likely gonna burn out. Pyrus not able to extinguish her. That last fadeaway bullet from Nurks takes her out. Just way better Uber sense from Squirtyay there. They get in deep. Wish is able to chase in, take out Tsar. Whereas Townsy felt like took one Uber in the middle of like 6 people and wasn't able to, no one was able there to help him kill anyone. He couldn't focus damage on anyone. Sloppy Uber. They will end up at the point though, but they lose Virgil, giving Uber Ed all the way over to DZ.
Yeah, if Johnny gets stabbed, not going to be the biggest deal. They're going to be able to respawn by the time their med has the Uber. Going to be able to pop out cliffside. Looks like they want to go before he's even there, which you can. You have the big ad. If you can get down onto point, it'd be big. But with Sar finding the pick onto Nurks, the domination, it's fat. And now Catalyst bombs onto Percy. 2-man ad here, but Paharo in the backline stab onto Virgil. Going to give his team a free Uber.
They might try to hold this, but no, with the Wrangle mini there, they're just going to use out here. Yep. Wish going in on flank, looking for any kills he can find as... There it is. It's been a while.
Yeah, the pause.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Yep. Wouldn't be RGL Highlander without a pause. Here we are, round, what is this? 8? No, 7 overall. No, 6. It's 3-2. So this could end, the match could end here with a Squirtyay win, or we could go to a golden cap round, winner takes all for the 7th round. Legendary 7th round of Koth. In the meantime, now, like we said, Virgil getting stabbed by Paharo, that's really big because that Uber for DZ really is free. They're running forward. Wish is going to kill all these people. Look at their HP. Wish has a train of 4 kills.
Oh, man.
He literally gets 4 kills right here. This is a meat factory. Look at the Dolphin. Look at their HP lines on a free cam. They're all 1 meat shot from death. Wish can kill all of them.
This is a Congo line here.
Yeah, it's a Congo line for Wish.
What is that 102? That probably requires 2 shots. Everyone else, though. He could, if he has 6 shots loaded, he can run, just pick up 1 on Sar, 2 shots on Catalyst, 1 on Pyrus,
and then
1 on
Technomo. Yeah.
Yeah, that's... Hungry hippos. That
so
would be
okay. When this Uber ends, right? We're expecting Squirtyay to get the point here, right? They're gonna get at least 2 cleanup kills here minimum, right? They're gonna get at least 2 extra kills. Exa is 1 HP. Pop is gonna kill him. Here we go. Run onto Sar. Wish not gonna greed for it. Gonna make sure they get the point.
Coward.
That's disappointing. Pup in the backline though. Pup says, "What you can't do, I'll do." He gets all 3. There we go. That's the carnage we wanted to see.
Thank you.
Pup
Giving the people what they want to see.
Yeah.
Constant, though, gonna find Nurks, so that's 2 dead now. Once the spawners come back up from Froggieland, they might be able to use that to their advantage.
Khonshu gets found out by Figsy in the backline. Spy still keeps him on temporarily, but not for long. Against the pack, Figsy, you can't lose the Spy. Alright, lost the Spy. Johnny now getting pressured on the flank here by Technomo. Sar as well as posting him. If Johnny gets too aggressive, he will end up going down. Khonshu finally getting found here, so numbers add in favor of Squirtyay. They're walking forward trying to contest. They do actually have the point right now, but Moist eating a massive headshot, gonna get taken down there by Percy. So now a double up from Percy onto Exa, doing tons of work. Sar as well getting backstab means that there's no response coming forward, and there should be another hold for Squirtyay.
Yeah, they will successfully hold that.
Pup is so aggressive.
It's a little greedy.
Yeah, it's a bit greedy, but I can respect it. He does a bunch of damage, and Townsy gets sniped there into the sideline by Percy. That's a great rotate from Percy. Look, he rotated side of flank to watch this close from his box. So now SPS about to pop off. Oh, he wins it despite calling for a buff at the same time. That's great.
Feels good to watch players play well and win. Uber's gonna come out here, actually. They're gonna find Moist.
Actually,
that looks to be about it. Virgil must have used as well. As she's pretty low. The pause just went through.
Restoring Uber charge level.
Percy was lagging over here.
Okay, we're fine. Recap now coming in for Froggieland. They are about 50 seconds down in time. Remember, they need to win this round to extend the match, and here comes their forward hold. We saw this have dire consequences for Squirtyay earlier. We'll see what they can do now.
Yep, Figsy gonna get the flare on the dead onto Sar, forces him back a little bit actually into that more passive angle, and there it is. You know, they're contesting from this far right side. Percy able to find Townsy going out big to wide to try to contest, and that is Demo Scout down again. The magic combo for Squirtyay, and they're just gonna cap this up. Uber actually comes out though.
That's I like that use.
Not gonna cap
temporarily with that. DZ Creeper is out there. Constru tries to find the pick, but Evil again denies him in the end. And now the far side cap up comes in favor of Squirtyay. 100% Uber for DZ Creeper here. They are at a small time lead. Nerf's gonna get headshot down. No big heavy to block the space. Constru is here on the flank. Will get out to his heavy. Moist is holding a ton of space here, but they need more. They need to get the cap back. And there's the shot from the Sar taking down DZ Creeper.
Another drop. Sar continuing. Actually, no, Sar is on the top of this, near the top of the scoreboard this time, so not quite as a half, but still finding DZ in his sights. And Johnny, though, gonna take out Virgil coming in. I'm not sure if that was a sack or not. Looks like it, given by where those ragdolls are, but huge kill from Johnny to help equalize that. Salvages DZ going down and really even throws them advantage as Pyrus and Virgil both just respawned. Heals are already in onto which that mini's going to go down. The point looks almost uncontested.
Jumping in, and they do get the kill onto the medic here, but they're losing a lot of players. They do get a lot of return though as the shotgun from Exa across the point does tons of damage. That's almost a full wipe. It's a 4v3 in the end. Sar is alone all in up front. We'll see who can actually get back to the point first because Squirtyay don't have the point. They are spawning a lot faster. We'll see if they can make something work here. No one is going to have Uber for this endgame. We might see a quick fix even come out, but heals are here a lot faster for Squirtyay.
Quick fix, my love. DZ on Uber, and that they have a bit longer on the time. So with him at 30, there's a chance that they actually get Uber in overtime here. Virgil, though, I don't think has healed anyone for a bit.
Virgil hasn't healed. Virgil's walking out alone. It's stop Uber. They're not going to have anything to charge. Virgil still isn't healing.
Where did Virgil go?
He went fast roll up, but no one's there to catch him. There's a flank overload here from Froggieland trying to do some damage. Pup not going to be able to get to that pack in time, and they're flanking in from behind. They need the capture, and they need kills. We'll see if they can get it. Technomo is dead first, as well as Catalyst and Construed. Nerfs is standing tall on the point, doing tons of damage. Staying alive for now. Good air blast saves him temporarily. Big headshot from Percy onto Exa. Mini Sentry goes down, and Uber is out for Squirtyay here. Going to be able to stall on the point. It's just Townsy here. You got to clean up this demo, man. Pyrus is going to go down to Wish. There's Wish coming in for the cleanup. Pyro stabs Townsy at the end, and that's going to be the almost full wipe in favor of Squirtyay.
Oh, Construed. Big Construed. It's your moment. It's my time to shine with the Scrooge face. Almost got DZ, actually, but not quite enough. Yep, the halftime magic runs out for Froggieland. as does their undefeated season. That flank, Hail Mary that we saw come out from them last half worked because you had a heavy shutting people from behind when it's like an engineer. Wasn't as effective, but, 4-2, I think it was for Squirtyay.
Yep,
So we were both
4-2.
off by we were both off by one round.
We had the sentiment exactly right, though.
I'll take those channel points, by the way. Quite tasty, but I mean, good gameplay all around, right? We saw Squirtyay come out, have a winning strategy. Froggy took their own, losing half to adapt to it, came back out, said, okay, well, the answer isn't to half-heartedly overwhelm flank, it's to really, pedal to the metal, fully overwhelm it. They did that, and then we see Squirtyay come out with an adaptation. Froggieland was not able to follow up, and both of these teams now sitting at 3-1 on the season.
Yeah, it's a shame it's a best of 7 overall, best of 7 overall, because if it was a best of 9, then we see the 2-0 in half 4, right, for Froggieland making their adaptation.
And we get the rare 5-4 Koth Highlander.
Yeah, in the end, though, Square just did a better job taking their rounds. They had a winning strategy for the most part. They were able to fire back at what was thrown at them, and in the end, that's going to get you the win. Logs up on your screen. Wish, big 47 at the end there. Technomo, no slouch, honestly. Top fragging his own team. And Townsy actually output 100 more DPM than Johnny overall. That doesn't surprise me because we saw him doing a ton of damage, but they just had a lot to work with. It was a 4-2. I'd call that one as close as it was, right? Like maybe even 4-3 worthy, but either way, just a ton of work being done. Sar as well. Only 22 kills compared to Percy's 32. It feels like Sar had so many big picks. He had 2 med drops, 2 crucial med picks.
Percy had no med kills, Sar had 4. So that's where that kind of perceived difference comes from. Also, I think it's interesting that, sometimes you say, oh, well, you're dying to do damage. Townsy had that extra 100 DPM at the cost of 8 more deaths. Granted, did have 11 more kills too, though, so you wonder if it's just more high-octane gameplay out of him than
it's
from
a
Arts
different
being a little bit
strategy these
more
teams
passive.
rolled out, right? We saw, Froggieland's strategy to overload flank when they have the point is good, right? That's a thing that we saw a lot of teams do in the Test Cup and the Pugs leading up. They took that, they, turned the throttle to 100. They said, this is our strat. If we get point, we are holding heavy on the flank. When we saw Squirtyay take it far cliffside, I'm like, they did it. They found what can beat this side, right? And you gotta wonder, when it happens the first time and Froggieland don't say, okay, well, maybe if we see them going cliffside, we don't, we kind of back up and try to hold them on the point. But they never did that, right? They stayed in their far flank hold until it cost them their lives. Yeah,
the kind of leapfrog of adaptation stopped there. Where, maybe, again, as you said, if this is a BO9, maybe we see them start to learn from that. But, I mean, still, first time this map has been played, it's nowhere near to being labbed out. So, those types of rotations may be something you'll see in the future. And I think that's good that we have more kind of plays than you'd normally see. I mean, like, if you think about Asheville, right, which I think I'm leaning towards liking Perut more than it, but I still think Asheville, for now, is the king of HL maps. There's only so many rotations you really make on that, right?
Hey guys, what if we played Product and Ubered from Pocket? Never before seen.
Woo! Let's go!
Yeah, but I think definitely gave us a strong showing. As did Squirtyay tonight. Going to be going up to 3-1. Both these teams now at 3-1. Let me check the match point difference because a 4-2 is like what, 9-6?
7-2.
7-2. Yeah, 7-2. So that's going to put Froggieland with their 7 up to 32, Squirtyay up to 23. No, wait, it's 21 to 27, actually. Froggieland at 27 and Squirtyay up at 21. So the hierarchy's still there, but that said, both these teams at 3-1. Other results from around the league, we saw Team Fun sweep, not unexpected at all. They're going to go up to, 36 match points?
Yep. Yeah, Tunic Vex over Guerrilla Warfare being pretty close. I mean, those lower table matches can be just as intense as the higher table ones, as they took a 4-3 over Guerrilla Warfare. But yeah, the Frauds showing that RR not quite ready to compete with the upper half of the table, despite their strong showing last week against Squirtyay. Team Fun again, just somebody help. Really not the map for somebody else to play Team Fun on.
That said, I think it's fine. You get the hardest match out of the way on a map you weren't trying to win anyway, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's I can't imagine they had too much fun
They
on that
probably
one.
loaded into the server, wiped on repeat for 10 minutes, and then left, if I had to guess. Yeah, but that's going to be it for the match. Congratulations again to Squirtyay, giving us a nice showing on Pruit. Like I said, from what we saw of this map and what I think is possible on this map, I like it a lot so far, right? The leapfrog of adaptation, we saw the different strategies of what people actually want to do, the impact we saw able to be had by every class, not just, your scouts, demos, and snipers of the world. I really liked it.
Yeah. I mean, again, like, I think the telltale sign for me is that right after that first half, I'm looking at the damage stats, and I'm just like, was there like my initial thought was like, was there a pause glitch in this? When there's a pause and then like it overcompensates for the pause time, and everyone has super inflated DPM stats. I almost thought that happened. The pause, as it would turn out, would be in the third half, not the first, but made me realize that no, it's not that there's a pause glitch, it's just everyone's fighting that much. There's so little downtime, and I think just the more interaction that a map leads to, the better it is, and that's why I think had a good showing now, and I think it will continue to give good showings in the future.
Dolphin is updating me. Apparently that help match, they did lose in like 22 minutes to Team Fun, so yeah, that one was not very close.
Unfortunate. Quite unfortunate for the help. First somebody help, but that's how the dice fall. As I think that's largely gonna do it here for us. For closing remarks, I just want to give a shout out to Spleep, the map maker of Pruit, for all the time and effort he's put into listening to our feedback and all of my long forum rants and the map test Discord as to why the SAR spot needed to be removed from this map. And he listened, and it's good, and it's all my fault. So no, but I mean, thanks to Sweep and also everyone in the Discord for putting so much time into testing it and really helping to get this map up to shape, because I think this has the potential to be in the rotation for quite some time.
Yep, I got no shouts to give. I gotta go change bands or something. I don't know.
Boring. What's that? Boring. I hear a foghorn. Boring.
Yeah, I'm boring. Whatever.
All right. Hearts in the chat for Dolphin. You guys know how it works around here. But yeah, congratulations to Squirtyay pulling themselves up to 3-1 here. Better luck next time for Froggieland. Thank you for watching, and we will be back. Are we casting next week, Dolphin? Are we casting on Halloween? Okay, well, I won't be casting on Halloween most likely, as I'll probably be on a highway somewhere driving back from Atlanta.
Get me, Jarrett.
Well, that's for you guys to arrange. I'm going to be driving back from League
It's
Cities.
going to be me plus someone else next Monday, so look forward to that one. If you're not going out trick-or-treating for Halloween, we'll have you with some TF2 action. Maybe.
What map is next week? Oh, I miss Swift. Oh. Sag.
Anyway, that'll do it for us tonight. So thank you all for coming out to watch, and we'll see you next Monday.
Have a good one.